Hello, my name is Jack Washington, and I'm here again to talk about education in the urban community. One of the questions, among many questions that educators should ask the student, is how much is your life worth? Many students don't seem to think about their lives until they get a certain age. Uh, Most of them think about it right about their senior year, and they begin to prepare uh, right about the time they're ready to leave school. My question to them would be, how much is this that your life is worth to you? You have to think about that. When you ask how much is your life worth, you're looking at a span of time, and your life is important to you. And if you really think about how much your life is worth, then you begin to chart that path at an early age. What does that mean? That means that you now begin to think in terms of where do I want to go? And what are the best roads or paths or areas that will get me there? Many students in urban communities, because they don't see any avenue for successful operations, they believe they succumb to the feeling that they're worthless. And therefore, they act it out and they say, "Oh, life is not worth anything. Therefore, I won't try to improve my life." I'm saying to you, you're worth more than you think. It all depends on you and what you're willing to do. It is not what others say that define you. It's what you say about yourself that defines you. When we ask how much is your life worth, your life is worth whatever the value you're willing to place on it. So if you're willing to put a greater worth on your value of your life, then the outcome would be greater. Many urban students succumb to the community conditions, the conditions in urban communities, where they see very little emphasis placed on the worth of their life. And so because of that, they absorb this attitude and say, well, my life isn't worth very much. I'm not worth very much. Therein lies the problem. Because your life is not dependent upon the attitude or conditions surrounding them. Your life is dependent upon what you think of your life. When I was growing up, my father said to me, "You are worthless." And for a long time, I accepted that until I began to think for myself and said, no, you will not define me. When I went to college, my father did not give me a dime. Matter of fact, when I graduated from college, he did not come to my graduation because he said I was worth less. But I, at a young age, had to begin to think about what my worth was. And I began to work towards those goals. So when you ask yourself, how much is your life worth? It is worth the value that you place on your life. If you put a higher value on your life, then your outcome will be higher. But if you succumb to it and say, my life isn't worth anything, I look at my conditions, I see social decay, I see political corruption, I see all of the kinds of problems that lead to trouble. Therefore, I'm going to accept that. However, there are many people who grew up in the same conditions, under the same circumstances, and said, no, I am not going to let the surroundings describe what my life is worth. I am going to decide and define it for myself. And the value that I put on my life, the value that I put on my life and my conditions will become the outset or the goal of the structure of my existence. And that structure that I can help my community to see a better day. Thank you so very much.